above 561. If not, we are a corner. So let me share with you a little bit about this chart. Anyway, this chart that you're seeing is a daily chart, but in terms of weekly chart, right, it is shown that under this week's bar, you have to close above 561. If not, you will have broken down of this uptrend line. And this is a very major thing, right? Because right now the political instability is really there. But some good news, minor good news is that historically, whenever there's a low momentum indicator plus a high ATR, usually we'll see a spike, at least a temporary spike. But back in May 2022, we see that the market had a decade bounce and eventually crashed even lower than that before the market resumed higher thereafter. And last year, August 2024, it also went up thereafter, which is where we are right now. Okay, so what I'm doing right now is my ETF is currently trading at around 19.3 and break even is about 23, and I could actually write back up above 24 for a huge profit. So for some as above, I refreshed my portfolio at 105k. So $23 right now, as of now, I should be able to make about 2k profits, which is 107k. And then $27 is actually doable, right? So for me to make like a 14%, but then I think I chosen to rebalance, chosen to publicly share that I will rebalance at around slight profits, and then go aggressive thereafter. Because I think recently I like to have this thinking that not losing is also a form of winning. So some additional thoughts, right, you might be thinking like, what if I'm wrong? Like I also ask myself, what if I'm wrong? But I think nowadays, instead of seeing myself as like an investor or trader, I see myself as a wealth manager. So like being a wealth manager, like we got to understand and got to not let all the FOMO, envy, and regrets get into our head, because that is when we will make stupid moves and eventually hurt ourselves even more. So I'm trying to be in a situation where I can best create only two outcomes, which is first thing first, break even, and second is to win. So it's either I break even or I win. I think this is a pretty good this is a pretty good mantra that I would like to have going forward for myself, especially. And particularly, this is also a very great deal for me, right? Because SOXL, the ETF that I trade, currently has already dropped from top to bottom 76%, and yet I can still get out at the break even. I think this is a damn great deal. So if you're watching this and you are also a accelerator, please reach out to me. If you feel that you're off and you're feeling extremely greedy and fearful and all, please just reach out. Because right now we're also tackling with a lot of other stuff. Some other last notes, right, is that Fear and Greed Index right now we're trading at around 23, and then historically, last few weeks we actually reached 14. Historically, data 23 days out of 13 years. Okay, 23 days out of 13 years, we have reached anything below 14. Okay, so the odds of it going there is actually quite rare. So we are now in a rare territory. So the bounce is still there, but whatever the case, just make sure that you understand what's your game plan. And lastly, right, not to be drama and all, but right now we are really living in a crazy geopolitical world right now. And suddenly, right, like in the past, I used to create 100k of fire. Hopefully, we'll fight for this possibility that people will actually love their job, love their work, and then not fearing any fear of retrenchment and layoffs and all. But I think it is increasingly more important for me, right, to see that there's this need, that it's not just about AI replacing people, but the mafias dictating the world and all. We are just not so sure what is the kind of world that we're going to live forward next. So let's just do our best to increase our financial literacy and up our game. And I think going forward, I may actually do something more to make sure that all of us we are at least financially independent. If not, I'll see you again next tomorrow. Bye.